This is from the homework 8.6. These are some problems that I had some questions on. So we'll start with 7. All right, 7. The first thing we're going to do is get rid of this 5. So subtract 5. Subtract 5. Remember, we're trying to isolate this. All right. And that's going to leave us with 2/3 e to the 4x equals 3. Now we got to get rid of this 2/3. So we multiply by 3 halves. Multiply by 3 halves. They cancel out. And I get e to the 4x equals 9 halves. I can put it as 4.5. All right. Might make it a little bit easier. All right. Now we got to get rid of this e. So I have to do ln. And again, whatever I do one side, I have to do the other side. So the ln cancels out the e. So I'm left with 4x equals a natural log of 4.5. And then I divide by 4, divide by 4. And then I'm ready for the calculator. All right. So I'm just throwing this in the calculator. All right. Let's see. I got the natural log of 4.5. And I can hit enter and then divide it by 4 and hit enter. And I get my answer that x equals 0.376. All right, so that was number 7. All right, number 8 looks similar. All right, in that again I have to isolate this. So I'm going to subtract 1, and then I get 5/3 e to the 1 minus x equals, let's see, so 2 halves is the same as 1. So I'm going to subtract 2 halves, which makes that 7 halves, or 3.5. Let's do it as 7 halves. All right. And then I got to get rid of this. So I'm going to multiply by 3/5, multiply by 3/5. They cancel out. And now I have e to the 1 minus x equals, let's see, 21/10. All right, so that's 21/10, which would be 2.1. All right, and then I do the natural log to get rid of the e. And the natural log, they cancel out, and I get 1 minus x equals the natural log of 2.1, and then I have to subtract 1, subtract 1, and then I'm going to have to divide by a -1 to get rid of that negative sign. So divide by a -1, divide by a -1, so I have my answer. The natural log of 2.1 minus 1, okay, so I'll clear that out. So let's see, the natural log of 2.1, enter, minus 1, enter, and then divide by -1, that's just going to change the sign. So it's going to make it equal to approximately 0.258. All right. Then number 12, all right, number 12, the bases are the same. So since the bases are the same, all I got to do is set the exponents equal to each other. So 3x plus 1 equals 2/x. Now, this 2/x, I have to get rid of that x out of the denominator, so I got to multiply both sides by x. They'll cancel out. This gives me 3x squared plus 1x equals 2. Then I subtract 2 from both sides. And I get 3x squared plus 1x minus 2 equals 0. And then we have to factor that out. All right. So factoring that again, we got a leading coefficient. So we do our box and 3x and 3x. 3 times 2 is 6. The factor is 6. When you subtract it, you get a 1, would be 3 and 2. All right, and the bigger one, signs are different. Bigger one's going to be positive. So this is plus, this is minus. This, we can factor 3 out of it. So it gives me x plus 1. This we can't factor anything out, so I get 3x minus 2 equals 0. Then I set x plus 1 equals 0. I get x equals negative 1. And I set 3x minus 2 equals 0. And I get x equals 2/3. All right? So I got a negative 1, and I got 2/3, which is 0.667. All right? All right, now number 13. We got the log of 2x plus 1 equals 1. Again, this log, when it's just written like this, that means that it's log base 10. So to get rid of the log, we have to make that an exponent of 10. So put a 10 here and do the same thing on the other side. So 10 and the log cancel out. So it leaves me with 2x plus 1 equals 10 to the first. 10 to the first is just 10. And then I just subtract 1. I get 2x equals 9. Divide by 2. And I get x equals 9 halves. Or you can write it as 4.5. All right. Either one of those. All right, then number 25. Now number 25 is the one I warned you about, the ones that you have to condense this first. So this is an addition, so we're going to change it to multiplication. And then this is subtraction, so it's got to be division. So what we're going to end up with is the log of base 2 of x times x minus 2 over x minus 3 equals 3. All right. And then we can get rid of this log base 2. Again, to get rid of log base 2, we make this into a power of 2 and this into a power of 2. They cancel out. Just distribute this. So I got x squared minus 2x over x minus 3 equals 2 to the third. 2 to the third is 8. Now we got to get rid of this x minus 3. So I multiply both sides by x minus 3. They cancel out. So now I got x squared minus 2x equals 8x minus 24. All right. Now we got to bring everything over to one side. So minus 8x minus 8x plus 24 plus 24. All right. So we get x squared minus 10x plus 24 equals 0. All right, and now we got to factor this out. So 2 sets of parentheses equals 0. X is in the front. Signs are the same. They're both negative. Factors of 24 that add up to 10 would be 6 and 4. And then I just set x minus 6 equal to 0, and we get x equals 6. Take x minus 4, set that equal to 0, and we get x equals 4. So we get two answers, x equals 6 and x equals 4. And those were the problems that they was asked about.